Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're tackling one of the absolute most transformative concepts in tech right now, what it truly means to design, build, and scale digital platforms for the modern cloud era. So, if you're looking to understand the core DNA of those resilient, lightning-fast applications you use every day, well, you're in exactly the right place. Okay, let's dive into this because we really need to clear up a massive misconception right out of the gate. A lot of folks think that, just taking an old traditional virtual machine and dragging it over to AWS, or maybe wrapping some legacy code in a Docker container, magically makes an application cloud native. But actually, no. That is just cloud hosted. Being cloud native has absolutely nothing to do with where your app physically lives. It has everything to do with how it's fundamentally engineered from the ground up. To make this massive ecosystem easy to digest, we're going to use a clear mental roadmap today. First up, demystifying cloud-native applications. Second, compute and orchestration essentials. Third, data, storage, and messaging. Fourth, automation, scaling, and resilience. And finally, number 5, we'll look at a real-world cloud-native app. So let's kick things off with Section 1, demystifying cloud-native applications, or as I like to call it, design over destination. And this brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between traditional and modern infrastructure. Think about traditional cloud-hosted apps. They usually rely on manual deployments, local file storage that acts like a scary single point of failure, and hard-coded configurations that just make everything incredibly brittle. But on the flip side, true cloud-native designs, they use automated CI/CD pipelines, highly durable object storage, and dynamic secrets management. Basically, cloud-native apps literally assume the hardware is going to fail at some point, so they're designed to just survive those failures seamlessly without anyone even noticing. Now, a massive part of that survival depends on something called stateless design. Think of this as the foundational secret weapon of the cloud era. Seriously, if your application instance stores a user's session data locally on its own disk, well, what happens when that instance inevitably crashes? Boom, the user loses everything. But by keeping the application stateless and storing that data in an external database or a cache, literally any server instance can handle any request. That means you can replace or duplicate instances in the blink of an eye without dropping a single user. All right, moving right along to Section 2, compute and orchestration essentials. This is all about packaging and managing our code. The basic building block here is the container. You've probably heard of Docker, right? Well, a container is essentially a lightweight package that wraps up your application, its runtime, system libraries, and all its dependencies into one neat little box. This is absolutely brilliant because it finally solves that age-old developer excuse of, well, hey, it works on my machine. With a container, if it runs on your laptop, it is going to run exactly the same way in testing, staging, and production, no surprises. But, just having a bunch of containers isn't quite enough. You need a way to actually manage them at scale. Enter Kubernetes. You can think of Kubernetes as the master conductor of your container orchestra. You essentially tell Kubernetes your desired state, like, hey, I always want exactly 5 instances of my backend API running, and it just makes it happen. If a container crashes, Kubernetes immediately spots it and spins up a brand new replacement. It's massively powerful, though, to be totally fair, it's worth noting it does bring a pretty steep learning curve and some real operational complexity along with it. Because of that complexity, you might actually consider an alternative approach, which is serverless. With Kubernetes, you get ultimate platform control, sure, but you are still stuck managing the infrastructure orchestrator. On the other hand, serverless platforms, think AWS Lambda or Azure Functions, remove server management entirely. You literally only pay for the exact milliseconds your code runs. It's amazing. But actually scratch that, it's not perfect. You do have to trade some control for that convenience. You have to keep in mind quirks like cold starts, where a function might take just a split second longer to run if it hasn't been triggered recently. Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds out. Data, storage, and messaging. These are basically the nerves and memory of the app. Now, whether you're using AWS or Azure, the core concepts in a cloud-native model are entirely platform agnostic. You really shouldn't be spending your precious hours manually patching database servers or running backups anymore. Instead, you delegate all of that to managed databases. You don't store user uploads on a local hard drive, you push them out to limitless cloud object storage like S3 or Azure Blob. By leaning on these managed services, your engineering team saves thousands of hours. Hours that they can instead spend, building actual product features that your users care about. And crucially, messaging systems are absolutely vital here. They decouple synchronous workflows. Let's imagine we have an online learning platform. When 1,000 users complete a course at the exact same time, if our system tries to generate all their PDF certificates synchronously, all at once, that server is going to crash hard. But by using a message queue, the course completion simply drops a quick message into the queue. Then the certificate generator calmly pulls those messages one by one, totally at its own pace. The result? No cascading failures and absolutely no crashes. All right, section 4, automation, scaling, and resilience. This is all about keeping the system alive when things get crazy. Now, before you can even think about scaling, you must deliver your code safely via a CI/CD pipeline. That means automated trusting, security scanning, deploying infrastructure as code using tools like Terraform, and then doing an automated production release. In the cloud-native world, guys, this is not just a nice-to-have luxury. It is absolutely mandatory. Let's face it. Humans make mistakes, especially when we're trying to deploy at 4 p.m. on a Friday, right? But automated pipelines ensure consistent, perfectly safe deployments every single time. Okay, so your code is safely deployed. But let me ask you this directly. What happens when your application suddenly goes viral? Now seriously, imagine it. An influencer links to your site or a massive corporate client signs on overnight. Think about the absolute capacity limits of a physical server. For most traditional IT teams, this exact scenario triggers sheer, unadulterated panic. And here is the stark, objective reality of that situation. When traditional applications hit their resource limits, they simply run out of memory and crash. They completely fail. Cloud-native applications, on the other hand, they adapt. They are built from day one with this elastic architecture that literally stretches to meet the demand and then smoothly shrinks right back down when the spike is over. That magical adaptation is driven by something called auto-scaling. It's the direct automated solution to that viral traffic problem we just talked about. You just define the boundaries, and the cloud provider automatically provisions new containers, boosts database read replicas, or increases storage throughput in real time, perfectly matching the precise level of demand your users are generating. It's kind of like having an infinite IT team working in the background. So the crucial point is, how does the system actually know exactly when to scale? Well, it monitors highly specific signals. It looks at CPU and memory usage, of course, but it can also track things like incoming request rates or the depth of a message queue, like we mentioned earlier. If that certificate generation queue suddenly has 5,000 pending messages, the system detects that trigger and automatically spins up 10 more worker containers just to handle the backlog, and then deletes them the second the queue is empty. How cool is that? Moving to our final chapter, section 5, the real-world cloud-native app. Let's pull this all together by building out that learning platform. Let's layer this architecture rapidly to really see it in action. For the front-end and storage layers, we kick things off with a global CDN. This caches static assets super close to users worldwide, so the site loads basically instantly. Then we use object storage to securely hold all those heavy course videos and PDFs. For user profiles, we lean heavily on a managed relational database, completely bypassing the headache of manual backups. And finally, to keep those profiles loading lightning fast and our APIs totally stateless, we throw in a managed Redis instance to cache all the session data. Next up, we build out the back-end compute layer. Our core platform runs on stateless API containers that scale dynamically via Kubernetes. But wait, what about users uploading their profile pictures? That traffic is super spiky and highly unpredictable. So we isolate that specific task and use serverless functions to process those image uploads completely independently. By combining these two models, we optimize both our performance and our cloud bill. Finally, we add the invisible but absolutely critical operational and security layers. The entire infrastructure is codified via Terraform. Our CI/CD pipeline automates every single container deployment. We use Cloud IAM to enforce strict least privilege security across the board. And because we have dozens of moving parts now, we use distributed tracing so we can actually observe and monitor the exact path of every single user request as it travels through the system. When you step back and look at the whole shebang, this is the core thesis. Cloud native is fundamentally a design philosophy. It's not just Kubernetes, and it's definitely not just AWS. It is a complete operating model that perfectly balances incredible deployment speed with unshakable system reliability, all while ensuring economic efficiency through intelligent, automated scaling. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it brings us to a moment of pretty honest reflection. I want you to take a hard look at the systems you or your organization are running today. Are they merely surviving in the cloud, acting as brittle, cloud-hosted virtual machines just waiting for a bad day to fail? Or were they truly designed to thrive in it, fully embracing statelessness, automation, and the elasticity? I really hope this explainer has given you the mental tools to answer that question and the curiosity to keep pushing your own architecture forward. Thanks so much for joining me to explore the anatomy of modern apps.